Hello there my music lovers, I'm George from Audiophile Heaven and today we are having a look at Xenns Mangird Tea2, the second iteration of the tea series from Mangird and Xenns. Those are voices from the Xenns, which means extraterrestrials. They are xenophilic, they like the outer space life, and they are priced at $350 US. So let's get down with the unboxing. The Xenns Mangird Tea2 is the first EM that I'm going to be pronouncing correctly from this company. I tend to have some sort of dyslexia or something, I am not even sure. I just misspell the names of many Chinese companies. Like when I first reviewed the tea, I was calling it Mangird, not Mangird, and it is Mangird. Sounds kinda Turkish to me. At any rate, those EMs come with detachable cables based on the 2-pin connector, and my variant comes with a 2.5mm balanced connector. The presentation is pretty cool, pretty awesome. The package is large, it has an airplane adapter, 6.3mm adapter, tips, Xenns ear tips, special Xenns ear tips. The company just rebranded to Xenns rather than Mangird, and they left the name of the series Mangird Tea. There is a really beautiful leather carrying case included in the package, which looks really cool, offers extreme amounts of protection to the EMs, like you can't damage this, it's superb, and it also has this superb soft touch that you will enjoy touching and opening and pulling them out. They do have one shirt pinch thingy to keep the cable closer to your shirt so that they don't tangle as much, but since the design is over the ear, you shouldn't have to worry about that. Those are the EMs. Pretty standard length for the cable, but the cable is of a very good quality. As you can see, it is not very tangle prone, not very springy either, but it is slightly springy. The EM comfort is absolutely superb. They do have a little opening right behind the 2-pin connector, which is blue on the left and red on the right, so that you know which is which. And that little opening helps because they have a hybrid design. They have 1 dynamic driver and 6 balanced armatures, which means 7 drivers in total. They are superb when it comes to voices, and the whole theme of the company is voicing, but I'll be explaining that in a second. Let's see how they fit. The fit of the Mangird Tea2 is insanely good. They have like a grip on your ear. This little protrusion here actually creates a hold of the EM on your ear. They basically just sit in there. This is the closest I ever gotten to having a custom EM. And in Romania it's almost impossible to get impressions, nobody does those. So far I have never heard a custom made for me, which is sad. Audiophile Heaven. 400 reviews done to date, I'm going to 500 reviews, not a single custom that I was able to get in here. Just kinda sad. At any rate, there is no cable microphonic, no cable inherent noise with the Mangird Tea2. The design is quite sealed actually. I mean, besides that little opening in the back, they provide you with 25 decibels of passive noise isolation at basically all frequencies, and they are climbing to 30 decibels of passive noise isolation. I can barely hear my own voice. I'm impressed with the overall passive noise isolation they have. They also have a little cable cinch here. I never understood how you are supposed to wear this. Like, are you supposed to pull your head like this and have the cable like come from the behind? It's too short for this. I never quite understood what that is for, but you always learn something, don't forget about that. Even if you are the most experienced person in a field, you will still be able to learn something in that field. No field is ever complete and knowledge is always welcome. So yeah, maybe someone can explain to me what the cable separator cinch is going to do for the Mangird Tea2. They are comfortable, they are fairly easy to drive because they have a balanced connector. My version at least is easy to drive from most sources because most sources have quite a bit of power on the balanced connector. They get quite loud quite easily, and they have a superb tuning. The tuning is all about the voicing, and I never give enough attention to this, but the voice of the Mangird Tea2 is superb. It's like you hear the singer singing right next to you, and it's not about having a narrow soundstage, it is about having the perfect tonality with the perfect amount of thickness, weight to each musical note, and just in general the tonality is so spot on. I have reviewed EMs that are considerably more expensive, even 3 times as expensive, and they don't get the tonality quite as good as the Mangird Tea2 does. It's all about the tonality, and that tonality isn't just for the voices. You can hear that especially good tonality in guitars, in pianos, in basically any instrument. It is like their sound is made to be heard. It is made for music. It is not made for technicalities. And technically they are slightly underwhelming at times. I mean, they are pretty much in line with the 7Hz Eternal, which is $100 less. But the Eternal doesn't have this tonality. It's like when listening to the Eternal before doing the video review, I was able to just enjoy it, get my few songs in and just start filming the video review. With the Mangird Tea2, I'm unable to do that. I was just unable. I just stopped and played music. While doing video reviews, I'm filming a few in a day to be able to keep up with my own schedule. So the thing is, I was surprised by them. I kept listening to them. The guitars are so awesome. For rock and for metal music, the Mangird Tea2 is superb. They have a neutral, natural kind of tonality. So everything just sounds kind of natural, but slightly on the brighter side. The bass has good impact and good quantity when it is called for. For example, with Rings of Saturn, it has a tone of drums, a tone of impact. The bass guitar is just audible, while on other tracks, if they are recorded to be brighter, they are going to sound a bit brighter on the Tea2. They have a very natural type of treble. It is quite natural and quite smooth actually. It is enjoyable, so no music will ever be too aggressive or too fatiguing for the Mangird Tea2, but the mid-range is going to leave you with your jaw dropped like, what is this? This is how you're going to look like when you listen to the Mangird Tea2. They're practically invincible in the mid-range. I mean, in this price range, nothing I've heard so far can reproduce the vocal tonality so well. And they don't really have a magical tech inside. They just have your run-of-the-mill balanced armature drivers, a single dynamic driver for the bass. They don't really have any tech inside that would promote this. It's just the tuning they went for. They really refined the sound until they got the voices perfectly. It is just useless. You could compare them to something like the Fua FH7, which is more expensive, and the Fua FH7 will win in technicalities and overall resolution. But the Mangird Tea2 is going to slaughter it when it comes to vocal acuity, to vocal clarity, to how good the voices are. You just hear them naturally to the Mangird Tea2. It's just like being there with the singer. You hear it correctly and it's just magical. The overall mid-range is magical. The aesthetics are a bit questionable. You can actually see inside of the IEM if you focus a bit, and the plate is not the most interesting one. My girlfriend, the photograph artist for the Audiophile Heaven, actually said that they look a bit like cheapish decorations, but at any rate, that is not why you are purchasing them. So I do hope that you're not purchasing them for the looks or for the cable. The cable is excellent, but it is not a focal point for the Mangird Tea2. It is the voicing the company managed to give to an IEM priced at $350. The company actually managed it this time around. They really managed to create an IEM that sounds beautiful. They finally managed to create an IEM that is enjoyable with all music. They actually did it, boys. It's like, I'd never heard an IEM that just made me stop and listen to it, and it was in this price range. I mean, $350 is not a lot of money to pay for an IEM to sound this good. The Mangird Tea2 is indeed magical. Linsoul, the company that sells those, actually has a very wide offer. They offer Fire IEMs, they offer pretty much every single other IEM that is from China. So you aren't really locked to it. But if you purchase from Amazon, and I do mention it because I would really appreciate if you could use the affiliate links in the video description. But if you do purchase from Amazon, it is still going to be fulfilled by Linsoul. I still would recommend purchasing from Amazon though, because if you are purchasing from Amazon, you are getting usually the best price available, usually better than even on the Linsoul website, and you are getting double coverage. You get both Linsoul's coverage for the warranty and you get Amazon support, which is very helpful at times. For example, you could purchase those, test them, and if you find that you are unhappy with them, if you find that your expectations were different, you could return it. Amazon has great services, great overall experience. I actually purchased something from AliExpress and I was absolutely disappointed. I can't even begin telling you how disappointed I was by the AliExpress experience, because I purchased two HDMI cables. Both of them came wrong, bad. They cannot support the data rate they are supposed to, and which is written on the package. I contacted the sellers. They denied me return of money or return of products or anything. I contacted AliExpress and they say that there is nothing wrong with it. I shouldn't bother. So yeah, I am left with two HDMI cables that don't work quite as they should. Which brings us to the last part about the Mangird Tea2. This will work as it should. This is the kind of EM that will work, the kind of EM that will give you no headaches. There is nothing that will break inside of them. They have detachable cables for when you get bored of the cables or when the cables eventually break, so they are going to run in your family if you take some care of them. I have this expectation that whoever purchases them and whoever understands what a natural tonality is like is going to be enjoying them for a long while. Please don't forget to check my full written review on them. It will be available on audiophileheaven.com. It might be available while I'm already posting this video. I do hope that you have the loveliest of weeks out there. I do hope that you will like this video, subscribe to Audiophile Heaven, and stay frosty, my friends. Hope to see you soon. Bye bye.